What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for yet another Tottenham update, and we've got some more defenders to talk about. And let's start off again with Alessandro Bastoni of Inter Milan, as Corriere dello Sport saying that Tottenham are ready to make a strong attempt to sign Bastoni and are in pole position to get him. Antonio Conte wants to bring him to Spurs at all costs. Inter Milan want at least 60 to 70 million euros for him. And a publication called FC Inter News, not sure how reliable they are, but they're saying that Tottenham have made contact with Bastoni over a potential transfer this summer. Inter Milan have told his agent that the centre-back may be sacrificed, but for no less than 60 million euros. So some slightly good news if it's true.
Yeah, if we're willing to pay that much. I've been consistent that definitely he would be number one choice, I think, for me, Bastoni. So it's positive that we're getting linked with him again, but let's just see whether, we're actually how not intense, how we really want him, basically, how much we really want him in the summer, because it might be a case of if we can't get the price down, we're like, okay, we'll move on to other targets. That's very Levy, isn't it? So
I like that Antonio Conte wants to bring him in at all costs. I like that line.
Sounds serious. I like that. Conte's a serious man, so I'm sure he would have told Levy, look, this is this guy, we need to bring him in, however much you have to pay, bring this guy in, and we'll see if we can get the deal done, but no guarantees, are there?
Never any guarantees with Tottenham Hotspur. But let's move on. Let's talk about Filip Kostić now of Frankfurt. The Independent are saying that Tottenham have reignited their interest for Frankfurt wing-back Filip Kostić. Obviously, he's had an unbelievable couple of years with Frankfurt. His numbers really speak for itself. The amount of assists he gets, the amount of goals he gets as well. Unbelievable numbers that he's pulling through. So he's one that I would really love to bring through the door.
His delivery is unbelievable. It's up there with the best crosses of a ball in Europe. You saw in the final, I think he put in 20 crosses during that final, and a lot of them were very, very accurate. And I'm just imagining, his delivery with the players we have in the box. It would be a dream come true. And I'm a massive, massive fan of Kostić. I know he's 29, but having him on the left would definitely go a long way to helping with the problems we do have a wing back, and also the problems we do have facing teams with a low block, because they know if they give, because at the moment teams are giving likes of Emerson and Session a lot of space on the out wide, but if they don't deny Kostić space, he can hurt you. So it opens up space in the centre. So he could be very, very valuable to us, and it is a short term thinking, getting someone like him in. But when you remember, we got Sessegnon as well. He's 22 years old, so we'll have a nice balance there on the left.
Would you be happy to go into next season with Kostić and Sessegnon on one side and Doherty and Jed Spence on the other?
Obviously, depending on other positions, but from wing back, yeah, I probably would accept that. Would probably rather someone a bit better on the right. But if they really believe Jed Spence can come straight into the first team, then yeah, I would be happy with it.
I think I'd be happy as well. But, I wouldn't be against keeping Emerson as well in there. But I just can't see us keeping Emerson and bringing in two wing-backs as well.
No, it won't happen. We have to sell someone.
Yeah. But let's move on. Let's talk about Evan Ndicka, who is a French centre-back playing for Eintracht Frankfurt at the moment. Get French Football Now says Europa League winning defender Evan Ndicka is a target for both Tottenham and Manchester United. 22-year-old centre-back, left-footed. Contract ends in 2023. Hasn't made a cap for France yet, and only made one cap for the under-21s. But we all know that the French under-21s and senior team is rafted with a host of talent, isn't it?
Yeah, one of them that doesn't want to stay at Arsenal, that's for sure. And Ndicka has been great for Frankfurt this year. I think he would fit in right comfortably at home on the left-hand side of our defence. I think he's actually pretty good on the ball as well. He's very, very physical and very aggressive. Very much an up-and-coming French centre-back, and he's had a bit of a breakout season this season for Frankfurt. He kind of fits everything, but whether he's ready right now is another question. He is 21, despite having a great season. They did finish ninth in the end, didn't they, Frankfurt? They won, although they did win Europa League. So, he did very well in that run. So it's one of those where Bastoni's probably more ready right now, but Ndicka's definitely one where he could have a massive, massive future, and he could help us right now as well.
Do you think these players, like a bit like Pau Torres last year, are going to want to stick around for Frankfurt in the Champions League next year?
I don't think they're unhappy at Frankfurt, but it's one that you could probably persuade him. But I think he probably does want to play with Frankfurt in the Champions League, considering that he earned the place with them. But he's not. I think it's definitely a case where if we can strike a deal with Frankfurt, he'll probably agree to it.
Yeah, it's interesting. Transfer Market have his market value at £25 million. He's filled in at both slots in centre-back right and left, and also at left-back at times this season for Eintracht Frankfurt. And he's played 32 games in the Bundesliga, scoring 4 goals and grabbing himself 4 assists as well.
It's impressive.
Yeah.
For a centre-back.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
So, I mean, I've never seen him play. I've never, you know what I mean? I've never really watched him play. So I'm not really qualified to comment, but those stats do look good.
I mean, not for a defender. You know what I mean?
Let's move on to Pau Torres now. Sport are claiming that Tottenham remain in the picture to sign Pau Torres. Villarreal accepted a €50 million bid from them last summer, but the player rejected the move because he wanted to play in the Champions League. Villarreal need a result this weekend for Conference League qualification. Fall from grace from Villarreal, isn't it?
Yeah, being in the semi-final of the Champions League and then also winning Europa League last year. So definitely, I mean, if I was Pau Torres, I'm thinking, we won Europa League, got to semi-final of the Champions League, and now next season we face the big prospect of being in Conference League. That doesn't seem to scream progression to me. So for sure, he must be open to a move this summer.
They played Man United earlier on in the Champions League this year, Villarreal.
They did.
So imagine, one year they play in the Champions League, the next year they're going to play in the Conference League.
Yeah.
Nuts is that?
That's how it is, and I think there'll be a match that's awful for them. And I think Pau Torres, at his stage of his career, probably could do with a big move. So again, another player. I think there's a lot of players in that position that we need who we can get. It's all about choosing the right one.
Yeah,
a lot of good players.
I agree, and I still. Bastoni's still my number one, to be honest. But let's talk about this abomination of PFA Player of the Year nominations. Conor Gallagher, Mo Salah, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Kevin De Bruyne, Phil Foden and Declan Rice up for it. No mention of Heung-min Son whatsoever.
Ridiculous.
When he's only 1 goal behind Mo Salah. He's been providing for Tottenham all season. And it's a slap in the face to him when you're putting players in there like Phil Foden and Conor Gallagher, where they both had good seasons in their own right. I'm not saying that. And I rate them both very highly as players. But when you're comparing them to Heung-min Son, for me, it's been night and day who's been better.
Apparently, this is the PFA Fans Player of the Year, I've read.
Right.
Not the PFA. Apparently, the PFA Player of the Year is out in June 1st, the nomination. So that's taken into account. But, albeit, I don't know why Son is behind Gallagher and Foden. Doesn't make any sense to me. He's had an unbelievable season. You could argue it's Son's best ever season. You know what I mean? So
I don't think you can argue that. I think it is. I think it's fact.
So how he can't be in the running for PFA Player of the Year, considering especially he could win the Golden Boot. So how is that possible? I don't understand it. How it's not like Son has done exceptionally well just to be in with a chance of winning the Golden Boot, and the fact they don't give it to it, they don't even nominate him, is perplexing by all accounts.
Yeah, definitely. But hopefully, when their actual nominations come out on the 1st of June, I mean, surely he's going to be there.
You have to think so, yeah, 100%.
Because he was at the other nomination, wasn't he, for Player of the Year?
Yeah.
And with the season he's had, I mean, you just can't not recognise that. It's just impossible to not recognise that.
He's been one of the best players in the Premier League. Like, how can you not? How can anyone deny that?
And especially, imagine you get the Golden Boot and you're not up for Player of the Year.
Yeah, it's crazy. Especially when you play for the 4th best team. You know what I mean? Probably. Yeah.
Anyway, that is your Tottenham update today. I want to know your opinions in the comments section below about which centre-back you would like to sign. Do you want Filip Kostić? And your opinions on the PFA Fans Player of the Year nominations, with Son not getting any recognition whatsoever. I want to know your opinions in the comment section below. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on you Spurs.